Intro music. Host. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Four-Year Starters Daily Lineup. I'm your host, bringing you the hottest sports news and analysis in the game. It's Wednesday, August 2nd, and we have a lineup of stories that will make your heart race faster than an Olympic sprinter. But before we dive into today's action-packed episode, let's kick things off with a fun fact about today's date. Did you know that on this day in 1932, the Summer Olympics opened in Los Angeles, California? Talk about a classic sports moment that has stood the test of time. Now let's get back to the present and jump right into the stories that have been shaking up the sports world. In our first story, Eduardo Rodriguez's no-trade clause foils potential trade with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's like watching a veteran outfielder make an incredible diving catch to rob a home run. Rodriguez's no-trade clause, like a brick wall, prevented any potential trade from taking place. We'll break down the impact of this move on both teams involved and discuss what it means for Rodriguez's future. But wait, there's more. In story number 11, we'll tackle the shocking trade that has left fans scratching their heads. The New York Mets trading Justin Verlander to the Houston Astros in a disappointing move. It's like watching a superstar basketball player get traded to a team that doesn't even make the playoffs. We'll dissect this unexpected trade and analyze the implications for both teams. So grab your favorite sports drink, sit back, and get ready to join the conversation. It's time to dive deep into today's lineup and uncover the hidden gems in the world of sports. Let's get started. Transition music. Transition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another thrilling episode of Sports Central, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. I'm your host, and today we have a lineup of headlines that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So grab your favorite jersey, tighten those shoelaces, and let's dive right into the action. Story 1. First up, we have some exciting news coming from the PGA Tour. In an effort to address player concerns and give them more influence, the Tour has appointed none other than Tiger Woods to the policy board. Talk about a game changer! With Tiger's expertise and legendary status, this move is sure to bring some major swings in decision-making processes. Get ready, folks, because the PGA Tour just upped its game. Story 2. Moving on to the Diamond, we have an exciting trade that has shaken up the MLB world. The Arizona Diamondbacks have bolstered their outfield by acquiring Pham from the New York Mets. In return, the Mets received shortstop prospect Jeremy Rodriguez. This trade not only adds depth to the Diamondbacks lineup, but also brings a positive move for the team. Watch out, opponents, because the Diamondbacks just got a whole lot stronger in the outfield. Story 3. And speaking of trades, buckle up, baseball fans, because the MLB trade deadline is in full swing. The rumors, speculations, and player movements are heating up the trade market like a fastball on a scorching summer day. Just recently, we saw Justin Verlander returning to the Astros, bringing his pitching prowess back to Houston. Meanwhile, the Cubs are looking to strengthen their bullpen, creating a frenzy of excitement among fans. The trade deadline is a wild ride, folks, where every move can make or break a team's chances. So keep your eyes glued to your screens because this is one trade deadline that promises to be a grand slam. No transition at the end. Continue with the next segment. In a surprising turn of events, the Detroit Tigers and Los Angeles Dodgers had a trade in place for pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez, but the deal fell through due to Rodriguez's use of his no-trade clause. According to sources, the Dodgers were one of the 10 teams on Rodriguez's no-trade list, and he exercised his rights to shut down the trade. It appears that Rodriguez's preference is to pitch on the East Coast in order to be closer to his family. This news comes as a disappointment for the Dodgers, who were actively searching for starting pitching before the trade deadline. Rodriguez, a 30-year-old left-hander, was considered one of the top arms available on the market. He has been having a solid season with a 2.95 ERA and 1.03 WHIP in 15 starts. It is worth noting that Rodriguez has the option to opt out of the final 3 years and $39 million of his contract at the end of this season. This could potentially impact his trade value and the interest from other teams. Overall, this failed trade between the Tigers and Dodgers showcases the complexities and uncertainties of the trade deadline. It also highlights the importance of a player's personal preferences and circumstances when it comes to potential trades. As the deadline approaches, it will be interesting to see if any other last-minute trades or surprises occur in the MLB. Detroit Tigers left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez has utilized his no-trade clause to prevent a potential deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, according to ESPN. Rodriguez's contract includes a no-trade list, and the Dodgers are among the 10 teams on that list. The Tigers and Dodgers reportedly had a trade agreement in place before Rodriguez vetoed the move. The specific details of the trade remain unknown. Rodriguez, 30, is considered one of the top available starting pitchers leading up to the trade deadline. The Tigers have already traded right-hander Michael Lorenzen and could still work out a trade involving Rodriguez. While he can be traded to 19 teams without his permission, he may be more open to joining the other 9 teams on his no-trade list. This season, Rodriguez has posted a 2.95 ERA in 88 and 1/3 innings despite dealing with a finger injury. He has also recorded an impressive strikeout rate of 9.3 batters per 9 innings and excels at limiting hard contact, particularly in the air. Rodriguez's performance has made him an attractive trade candidate, especially considering he has fully recovered from a challenging first season in Detroit. If the Tigers do manage to trade Rodriguez before the deadline, it will be the second time he has been dealt mid-season. In 2014, the Baltimore Orioles traded him to the Boston Red Sox for Andrew Miller when Rodriguez was still in Double-A. He made his MLB debut the following year. As for the Dodgers, they have already acquired veteran pitcher Lance Lynn to bolster their rotation. However, they are still in the market for a more impactful starter who could potentially contribute to their postseason rotation. Detroit Tigers left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez has utilized his no-trade clause to prevent a deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Rodriguez's contract includes a 10-team no-trade list, and the Dodgers happen to be among those teams. Although the two clubs had reportedly agreed on a trade, Rodriguez vetoed the move. The specifics of the potential trade remain unknown. With the 6 p.m. ET deadline passing, Rodriguez was not traded and remains with the Tigers. However, he can opt out of his contract after this season, and since he previously received a qualifying offer, he is ineligible to receive it again. Consequently, if Rodriguez signs with another team in the future, the Tigers will not receive a compensation draft pick. The 30-year-old left-hander has performed well this season, boasting a 2.95 ERA in 88 and 1/3 innings despite dealing with a finger injury. Rodriguez excels at limiting hard contact, particularly in the air, and has struck out an impressive 9.3 batters per 9 innings. He was ranked second on a list of the top 20 trade candidates and has fully recovered after a challenging first season in Detroit. It seems that Rodriguez's time with the Tigers may be coming to an end either through a trade or his contract's opt-out clause. However, for him to opt out, he would need to feel confident in clearing the remaining 3 years and $49 million on his current deal, which appears likely given his strong performance this season. Rodriguez has been traded at the deadline once before, back in 2014 when the Baltimore Orioles sent him as a prospect to the Boston Red Sox in exchange for Andrew Miller. At that time, Rodriguez was in Double-A and made his MLB debut the following year. The Dodgers, who were looking for a more impactful starter to potentially bolster their postseason rotation, ended up acquiring veteran pitcher Lance Lynn at the deadline. In a disappointing move, the New York Mets have traded veteran ace Justin Verlander to the Houston Astros ahead of the trade deadline. The Mets will receive outfielders Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford in return for Verlander. This trade adds to the Mets' recent sell-off, as they have already traded Max Scherzer, Mark Canha, and David Robertson, and are expected to move Tommy Pham before the deadline. Verlander, who is in the first season of a 2-year contract worth over $86 million, left the Astros as a free agent last winter. The trade reunites him with the organization he previously played for. Verlander has been performing well this season with a 3.15 ERA and a 2.61 strikeout-to-walk ratio over 16 starts. In July, he recorded a 1.69 ERA and had more strikeouts than walks in 6 starts. The Astros gave up 2 top prospects in their system to make the trade happen. The full details of the prospects involved have not been disclosed yet, but it is clear that they see Verlander as a valuable addition to their team. Verlander's familiarity with Astros' owner Jim Crane may have helped facilitate the trade, as his contract included a full no-trade clause. The Mets had initially envisioned Verlander and Scherzer leading their rotation, but circumstances have led to their sell-off. This trade adds depth and experience to the Mets' pitching staff, and they hope that Verlander can help turn their disappointing season around. On the other hand, the Astros are bolstering their roster with a veteran ace who has been performing well. Overall, this trade adds to the disappointment surrounding the Mets' season and their recent sell-off. The Astros, on the other hand, are looking to strengthen their pitching rotation and make a push for the playoffs. Only time will tell if this trade will have the desired impact for both teams. Upbeat music fades in. Host, and that's it for today's episode of 4-Year Starter. We've covered everything from the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat, and we hope you enjoyed the ride as much as we did. Co-host, absolutely, what a show! We dove deep into the world of sports, bringing you the latest news, analysis, and interviews with some of the biggest names in the game. Host, that's right, folks. We left no stone unturned, no play uncalled, and no stat unexamined. We gave it our all, just like the athletes we admire so much. Co-host, and we couldn't have done it without our incredible listeners. Your support, passion, and dedication to the world of sports truly fuel our enthusiasm and keep us going. Host, so as we wrap up this episode, we want to remind you all to stay in the game. Follow us on social media to catch all the behind-the-scenes action, bonus content, and to engage with us and other fans. Co-host, that's right, folks. Whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you can find us at 4-Year Starter. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and let us know what sports stories you want us to tackle next. Host. And don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back with another exciting episode. We'll be breaking down the upcoming matchups, discussing the latest trades and signings, and, of course, bringing you more inspiring stories from the world of sports. Co-host. So mark your calendars and set your reminders because you won't want to miss it. It's going to be a showstopper, a game changer, and a slam dunk all rolled into one. Host, until then, remember to stay in the game and keep that competitive spirit alive. We're honored to be your sports companions on this wild journey, and we can't wait to see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Co-host, thanks for tuning in, folks. Keep hustling, keep cheering, and keep being the ultimate fans that you are. This is 4-Year Starter, signing off. Upbeat music fades out.